Hey guys, and welcome back to Mediocre Minecraft. This is episode 8. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. To start off today, I want to get up to our task board, our bulletin board, and take a look at what we have in front of us. So let's take a look at what we have here on our little bulletin board. We got farmers stalls, we got path work with our asterisks, we got fixed barn, we got cleaning up, that's going to stay there forever. We got ruins / library, we got smeltery with some asterisks because we do want to finish that, and then fix our nether problem. So I think this is what we're going to focus on. I think this one in the top left, this one that says Ruins Library, I think that's what we're going to, really look towards getting some work done today. So that's going to involve doing some ruins on the surface, right across from this building, actually, and then digging deep and doing a sort of a stairway down into sort of an ancient, deep underground library. I think it'll be really cool. Should be a lot of fun. So let's get right into it. So I don't want to make a large bridge that covers this whole span. I don't think it'll look right. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We have this weird sort of little inlet here. And so I think it's going to make a lot more sense to sort of build the earth out right around here and leave a smaller channel going in, just sort of like the other side. And so that's what we're going to do. We built out the land on the other side, and now we have this great view of a very plain back of a build. So we're gonna have to work on that. But we built out the landmass over here. It looks pretty natural. I think we might do a little terraforming, make it a little bit more rocky like the other side, but I think it's looking, reasonable, at least as a good place to start. We do need to do the same to this landmass over here. I don't think we're going to leave it beach, like sandy beach, and also we need to bring it down a little bit, at least some of it. So we just finished laying down about 4 stacks of dirt over this sandy beach, and you can see it barely made a dent. This is going to be a bigger project than I had imagined. I'm really bad at estimating like how many or how much materials it's going to take to finish something. So anyways, so I'm going to go harvest or mine a whole bunch more dirt, and we'll get back to it as soon as I possibly can. We're back, and as you can see, we have a lot more dirt in our inventory now, so let's see if we can finish this up. And after all those stacks of dirt, we are finished. Go team. Well, actually, we're not finished. There's still some sections down here that we need to finalize, for lack of a better term, but I want to let grass start growing and sort of take over this area, and then we'll get back to it. We'll start building our bridge and our ruins, and hopefully we'll get them both done today. That's the plan, at least. One thing we can do while we wait for our grass to grow, literally waiting for grass to grow right now, as we can use our trading hall and trade with our toolsmith and weaponsmith villagers. Luckily, we are right next door to the grass area, and yeah, this works out just fine. So I'm going to hang out here and continue to trade iron for diamonds. The the intent being that we're gonna, or sorry, iron for emeralds, my fault. Iron for diamonds would be pretty dope too, though. But yeah, iron for emeralds, and that way we can, one, gain some more levels, and two, we will have more emeralds once we get our librarian villagers, and that'll help when it comes to locking in trades and to trading for books as well. A lot of times the trades can be pretty costly, especially for things like like sharpness 5 or any enchants that have a high what's the word, have a high numerical value. Geez, I don't even know that are, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you guys get it. You guys are cool. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, and so it'll be helpful to have a big cache of a big reserve of emeralds, so that when we get there, we won't have to do this then. I think after a couple more runs through, our grass should be grown. So we're doing a little spiral staircase deal here. Let me just show you where we're at the moment. Whoops, we gotta make this a little bit taller. We're gonna squeeze on through. Yeah, I gotta make a bunch of these taller. So we are across from our builds, and grass has grown on this area that we've terraformed and added this dirt to. And now we sort of have a little cliffside thing going here, or a little hillside thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to build kind of some, like ruins around this on this flat area here, which hopefully won't be so flat when we're finished. But for right now, that's how it's starting. And then what we'll do is we'll have this sort of spiral staircase deal that's going to take us down into a sort of like a library, like an old library. So I just want to get low enough that we can go, that we have room to work with, basically. So I think we're going to go down maybe a couple more levels, and then we'll open it up and start thinking about what we're going to do for our library. Because at this point in my head, I have some ideas, but really not a whole lot. So this will be another sort of freeform building exercise with Circus Fire Scene here. Now that we've made our way down into the depths, we're going to clear out a reasonably sized room here. My thought is I think I'm going to want some more moss in the future. And so my thought is maybe I would dig this room out using moss. I've seen other folks do that in the past, and it seems like a neat way to do it. And we're going to need moss in the future anyways, so maybe might as well. But first we're going to clear this room out, and then I honestly might even do the ceiling work while we before we dig the room out. This is going to be what I want is here. Let me grab this stuff and back up a little bit. My hope is that you come down this fairly unassuming spiral staircase, and granted, we'll change the walls, we'll make them more uniform, and probably use some brick and whatnot. But you'll come down this, or we'll come down this spiral staircase here, and it'll open up into this room. And while it's not going to be huge in terms of dimensions like width and length, it's going to go deep, or not like crazy deep, but it's going to go deep. And you'll open up and you'll see this sort of deep library structure with librarians and books and little walkways and whatnot. And so yeah, so that's sort of my idea. But my thought is, while we're up here, before we dig it out, we maybe might as well do this sort of ceiling design, because, well, that way we don't have to do like scaffolding or whatever to get back up here once we dig it out. So I think that's the plan. But I'm going to finish digging out the room first. I haven't totally decided on how what the final dimensions are going to be. So I'm just sort of going to keep going until it looks right, and then I'll get back with you guys. And so now we're just slowly working on our ceiling design. We're keeping it pretty simple with some slabs and trapdoors, but we are trying to have I am trying to have a little bit of variation as far as like the height of the ceiling goes, and that's what the trapdoors are allowing me. We're gonna work on we'll work on some we're gonna work on some kind of like light fixtures next. Some hanging lanterns. I have some of the new copper lanterns. I'm really excited about that. So we'll see how those look. I will check back in with y'all as soon as I got something more to show you. Now that we have our room cleared out, really all we have to do is go around with a bone meal and lay just a single piece of moss block down, and we can go around and bone meal it. It will turn all the stone and whatnot into moss block, and then we will take our trusty hoe and harvest it all. Yeah, and it'll come up real easy. So we're increasing the amount of moss we have to our name, while at the same time we are going through layers of stone much more quickly than we'd be able to, by mining it with a pickaxe, especially without a beacon or really the ideal, enchants for it. So as you can see, we can go through this moss very quickly, and so we'll just do this all the way down until we get to a height that we're happy with. Again, I'm sort of doing this on the fly, like with my other build, so I don't know exactly how deep we're gonna go yet, but I think I'll know when I get there. So we're going to work on this stairwell a little bit. Unfortunately, it's raining at the top, so we're going to start from the bottom in the hopes that, it's not quite as loud. If we peer over here, you can see we made it pretty far down. We have a pretty nice sized room here, I think. It's going to take a lot of work to decorate it and get the walls up to snuff and whatnot, but I think we're up for the task. But right now, what we're going to do is some pretty boring work here, honestly. We are just going to take out the existing walls of this staircase, and we're going to put in walls that make sense, I guess. Let's fill this in now that we have stone, and we're mostly going to use stone bricks and mossy stone bricks. Just because I think it fits the idea. It's an old stairwell down to a sort of not a hidden library, but definitely a library that is off the beaten path, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so we're gonna use these blocks to make it seem like it fits in, with our world. I hope, and we'll see how it looks at the end. I kind of want to, it's funny. I kind of want to, wait to show you all the end, what happens in this room down here until I'm done, just because I think it would be kind of cool to, start with this and end with what we, whatever we end with. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how much time we have and whatnot, and how much I want to bore you guys with my slow working. So I know the stone bricks aren't like super exciting or anything, but I think they fit this sort of area of the build pretty well. I wasn't really sure. I thought about going like deep slate or tough, but we've used tough a pretty good amount so far. This in the surrounding builds, and then Deep Slate is just so dark, and I'm just not sure if that's the vibe we want to go for. This isn't like a group of evil librarians, they're just sort of dudes that that time has maybe forgotten a little bit, so I think we're gonna go with these bricks. I think they look good, and then we'll kind of mess around, try to add little bits here and there to make it a little bit more immersive. One thing I was thinking of that I thought might be pretty cool. Let's see if we can do one of these here. Do I have them with me? Oh, no, I don't. Okay, hold on. Do I have them down here? I don't. Darn. Okay, I made a bunch of copper lamps that I was planning to use here. Let me go grab them, and we'll be right back. All right, so back down. So I thought we could do little cutouts and put copper lamps down. I think that'll look pretty cool. They're new to the game, so they're still kind of fresh. They're fresh and new. Everybody loves the new stuff. But yeah, so I figured we could put these in every once in a while and just have them sitting in these little cutouts. I think it makes a lot of sense. I do think we need to let's do the area behind these chests here. I don't want to leave it just with the regular stone pattern, just because I don't think it looks quite right. I think it looks better if we, sort of make it all encompassing. So that's what we're going to try to do. Now, one thing I've realized as I prepare to work on this room is that I don't want to make the room smaller by putting the actual walls of the room in front of the stone here. So we're gonna have to dig out one more entire circumference of this room, sadly. But it's got to be done, I think, because if we put the Deep Slate in front of the stone, it's just gonna make the room too small. I think we're right at the limit right now, and I think it's a good size. I did put a bucket of water down at the bottom there and a little water elevator here, just so I can, or a water column at least. Just so I can get up and down, relatively easily. But we're just going to basically have to do this all the way around this build. So when we are done, I will check back in. So we're at the bottom of our room here, of our library here, and I think we're going to start with the floor. The floor seems like a reasonable place to start. Once again, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I don't have any plans. I have zero plans. So how this ends up is a mystery to both you and I. I think what I'm going to try to do is sort of a polished diorite and a polished granite combination. I've used this before in past builds, and I do think it works. But the pattern and whatnot I haven't come up with, so I'm sort of going to have to work through it. But we will, as always, I will check back in once I have something that's sort of worth showing. But I'm just going to sort of start placing blocks, or at least placing half blocks to start off with here. So I'm finishing up the walls here, and you'll see it's a lot of the same Deep Slate brick here, but we're going to have a bunch of cutouts, and they're going to be a bunch of bookcases and stuff, but I wanted to get the walls covered so that at least I could sort of see how much space we're dealing with, and also just to get uniform so I can start working on it. The walls are coming right up to our ceiling, so that at least will be finished, and we can be done with that. But yeah, once we get these up, I think the first thing I'm going to do is sort of a general pathway of how we're going to get around this section, or around this room, how we're going to sort of navigate it. And then after that, we'll start working on like variation for the walls, and start working on bookcases and that sort of thing. So we'll get back to that soon enough. Now, this was a mistake. I kind of cornered myself here, and now there's actually no great way to get out of here. So we're actually going to have to What we're going to have to do is kind of dig our way back, at least until we can jump down into our water pool here, our safe landing spot. Not the biggest deal in the world, but just another example of sort of the mediocre side of mediocre Minecraft. Now this guy is kind of bothering me. I think we're going to look at him. Yep, you're angry. I know. I'm sorry. There you go. Whoops. Come on. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Buddy? There we go. Of course I don't get any, like, ender pearl or anything, but, you know, whatever. I'm going to torch this place up a little bit more. All right. Looking good. All right, so we have a big room now. We have a giant rectangular room going on. Yeah. So I think next up, probably need to take our water source down or figure something else to go with there. But we're going to start working on sort of the pathways that are going to let us traverse this room. I want it to be very much like I don't know if you've ever seen like the stacks in a library. You know, it's like usually just usually just big rooms with books. And here, where I grew up, we actually had a very old library. Well, not very old, but it was reasonably old library attached to the high school that I went to. And the library had very, very cool stacks. It used like iron grates, and so you could see down beneath the floors, to the next floor down, the next level down. And it was really neat, but also really creepy. It reminded me a lot of like Indiana Jones movies and definitely had that kind of vibe. So that's sort of what we're going to go for here. So I realized that we're going to need a lot more copper than I thought. It's just such an inefficient, material. You just got to do a lot of work for it, at least in the early game. I mean, I know in the later game, there's plenty of like farms and different ways of getting it. But at the moment, this is the best solution that I've come up with. So we are just going to keep on raiding this. This trial chamber until I feel like we have enough of this copper that we can leave. I've put borders around both of the spawners that I've found so far. There's one here and then there's one over there. You can see there may be some more up top, so I'm still trying to be a little careful here. But yeah, we'll just sort of have to roll with it and see how we do. So I do feel a little weird destroying this trial chamber, as it's the first trial chamber that I've ever found. But that said, we got villagers who give maps out to these things now. Just hand them out all willy-nilly, like they're not exactly secret anymore. So yeah, I figure if we want to sort of fully experience the trial chamber in the future, we can find one of those villagers and they'll help us make it happen. Our need for copper right now is just too great to ignore this giant resource, essentially right below our base. So we're just going to keep on going until I think we have enough. I'm sure it won't be enough. I'm sure I'll have to come back and explore more rooms. But at least with our diamond armor and tools and weapons, we're a little bit more prepared for this than we were the first time we came through and didn't go so well. So I'm truly not sure how well this is going to work out. Again, when you're doing things without much of a plan, you sort of get what you pay for, and I understand that. And so we're just going to start laying blocks out. We're going to see if we like it. If we do, maybe we'll stick with it. If we don't, we'll keep mixing it up. We'll have spruce slabs for stairs, and they'll take us to various points of this build, using the copper trap doors as sort of a landing spot. We'll use some copper grates as well, because I think those look really cool also. So we're just going to sort of mix it up, see what works, and hopefully we end up with something that we like. So just checking in mid-build, just so you can see y'all can see what I'm working on and how I'm going about it. So we got copper grates as our sort of platforms, as sort of our landing surfaces. We're using spruce stairs in between them, just because I do want to keep wood in the mix, if we're going to use it. And then we have some dark oak fences just to add a little accent. The dark oak might be a little bit too dark. Maybe we'll switch them to spruce fences. I'm just going to sort of see how it works once we get towards the end. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have all these sort of varying platforms, and in the walls along these platforms are going to be where our librarian villagers are. And then we'll have some other stuff going on as well. I thought maybe I could do like a reading room, sort of like a cutout, and do sort of like a reading room as well. But that's sort of the general gist of it. And I think we're looking good so far. It's always sort of hard to tell, one, until you're done with the basic layout, but then also like there's all the detailing to do as well. Like we need more chandeliers, we need more light surfaces, and obviously we need bookcases to make it look like a library. The trick with the bookcases is I've been trying not to kill, massive amounts of cows. And so I think the easiest way to get bookcases is actually to get the librarian villagers in here and get a whole bunch of them with the bookcase trade. And that way we can just buy bookcases for emeralds, since we pretty much haven't exhausted. We have a non-exhaustive source of emeralds. We have a source of emeralds that's infinite. Let me put it that way. Because we have infinite iron, we have infinite emeralds, and that should make buying bookcases a lot easier. So I think maybe what we're going to do is I'm going to keep working on this for a little bit longer. I'm going to get some more platforms in place. And then most likely what I'll do is bring in a couple villagers to start this top section here, and they can be our bookcase guys or our bookcase people. So let me get on that, and then I will be back and check in with y'all. So just checking in while we work on this build. I'll walk you through what we have so far. I swapped out the fences for the dark oak fences for spruce fences. They match the stairs now, which is okay as long as we bring in, I think as long as we bring in some dark oak somewhere, we should be looking all right. I started making some cutouts here just for the villagers, so just I can start figuring out how many spots that we're gonna have for them. There's some more cutouts here. Oops, I did not do any over here though. Let's make a couple here just to add to our count. I actually don't know how many we're gonna need. I do admit that as long as we have the, we're gonna have plenty of spots, but as long as we have the ones we really need, the mending, the unbreaking 3, power 5, sharpness 5, all of these, protection 4. As long as we have those, that's the important thing. Any other enchantments we can get is just a bonus. And like I said, we'll need a bunch of them to have bookcase bookcase trades anyways, just so that we can fill this place with bookcases, since it is a library after all, or at least we'll become a library as we work on it. So yeah, I am going to head up and start working on the villager transportation system. So we've started moving some villagers over, given that we need more bookcases anyways for our sort of section of librarians. So we're just going to follow this villager in. I'm going to jump on a minecart just so you all can see how we're getting them down there. I basically just have a couple drops where they drop back onto rails. And thus they're safe, getting down there. We'll see. I'm not sure if we can do it as well as a player. I'm assuming we can, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. So we drop down here, and then one more drop, and then yeah, I think we just landed on top of our villager. sorry, guy. That's my fault. That's definitely my bad. And then we can just push him in the last little bit of way. We'll break out these rails. And then I have a lectern right here. Oops, and actually I got to get my minecart back. He can't pop out, or they can't pop out because of the trap door here. So we'll just drop our lectern down, and then we'll start trading with him. And what we're looking for is a trade with a book, and a book that I want. and then also a bookshelf trade. So you'll see this librarian has Sweeping Edge 3 and a bookshelf, and this librarian has Aqua Affinity and a bookshelf. And I've traded for bookshelves with both of them. So yeah, that's how I'm locking in trades. Although speaking of which, I do need to go grab some more emeralds from our forge. So let me go do that, and then we'll lock this guy in. Now that we have our 3 librarians up top there who all have bookshelf trades, I'm going to be a little bit more lenient with what I lock in. And so this librarian has sharpness 5. It's not for a particularly good price, but I mean, honestly, how often am I going to need a new sword? Hopefully not too often. So I think we're gonna take this one. It doesn't have a bookshelf trade, but again, I feel like, given that we got 3 guys who already have them, we'll probably have more as time goes on. We're just going to move on to the next villager here. This particular villager is being a little difficult. I never understand why this happens. Just sometimes they just don't want to take the trade. But then, moments later, he'll pick it up right away. It's really strange. This is the first. Oh, shoot. I think I gave that previous guy a trade and then, get out of here. And then took his lectern back. Maybe that's why. Can I do this? There we go. Okay, so maybe that was it. I actually hadn't meant to do that. I meant to leave the lectern there with the previous villager. I must have just picked it up by habit. Okay, that makes more sense because I was really starting to wonder what I was doing wrong there. I have these 2, but I also have 4 more up there and then 3 more up there, and so it's I've been doing this a while, and it was very confusing for a moment there. I swear, Mojang, if I end up with a Breach Enchanted book one more time, you guys are killing me. Breach and Luck of the Sea. If those 2, if I cared about those 2 more, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. But unfortunately, those are not enchants that I currently need. What even is density? So our last villager here, we are not going to give a trade to. I have a feeling that there's a trade that I'm probably not thinking of that I'll probably need later on, and I'm just forgetting right now. So I'm going to leave just a block in front of him, sort of like a placeholder. And once we realize what that what trade I've forgotten, what that trade is, we'll work on getting this villager that trade. So the first thing we're going to do as far as sort of decorating this trading hall, now that we have all of our villagers in, I think we have about 16 villagers total, maybe 20. I can't quite remember, but it's somewhere in that range. But to get decorating, the first thing we're going to do is just put some of the new shelves up in between the villagers. I think they have a nice look. They have the rivets, which sort of look industrial. I think they're going to go well with bookcases, and also they're functional. I mean, if we want to throw a book in this shelf, we can. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to do. But the option is there, and I like that. So we're going to go around, put these shelves up in between the villagers, and then we'll figure out what else we're going to do as far as decoration goes. All right, so I want to take one quick break from decorating our library, and we're going to take this break for the purpose of setting up a simple chunk loader over at the iron farm. I want it to be producing pretty much all the time. There may be times where we'll want to turn the chunk loader off, but generally I think we're going to want it running all the time. It's just especially while we build our emerald supply, while we're first trading with our new librarians and trading with other villagers that will be adding to our collective as time goes on. Well, and actually arriving down here, this farm must be running for most of the time we're on the server, because there is a lot more iron here than when I cleaned it out last episode. I still think we're going to build a portal here because I still do want to be able to get directly to the iron farm from the nether. And if it also works as a chunk loader, that's great. That's you know, sort of a, you know, just a little bonus, I guess. We're going to lay in our obsidian here, and hopefully we have enough. Maybe we won't do corners to start with. Don't be angry. Oh no, we'll have plenty. Okay, we'll put the corner back in. Okay. So yeah, so we're going to lay some obsidian out there. We are going to build this back just a little bit further. Just so there's a little bit of room to work with. Do we have any regular torches? We do. Let's put a couple regular torches up here and here, just so that we can see well. So I believe the way we do this is just with a block on each side, powered rails here. Oh, except not there. Uh-oh. Can I do this? Okay, I can. Nice. All right, powered rails directed that way, and we're going to take redstone torches. So we have our redstone torches here powering the rails. We have the two rails, two little blocks just to bump them back. Now I think what we should probably do is head to the nether. Now this is going to be interesting because this is actually going to be really interesting because I don't know if those I don't know if the piglins are still, or sorry, the zombie piglins are still angry at me. I don't have anything to put, oh, actually I do have chests over. I have plenty of chest space. What am I saying? Let's dump, let's dump a bunch of our stuff in this chest just to, actually, we'll take our bed and put it back here. We want to dump this stuff in our chest just so we lose the minimum if anything were to go wrong while we're just in case anything were to go wrong while we're in the nether. And now let's light our portal and we'll go through for the first time. All right, so the good news is this is a different portal from our original one. Oh, and there are all the angry zombie piglins down there still hanging out around the original portal. I shouldn't be surprised because it hasn't been loaded, but they are definitely on me. Look at this. They are absolutely on me still. That's amazing. And very unfortunate. All right, we're gonna put a border up around this portal just so that we're not interrupted by any zombie piglins that are still angry at us. This is crazy. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do about this. My understanding is if I sort of hang out here for 30 minutes, I should be okay, and maybe that's what we'll do. Just going to expand this out a little bit just to make it safer. All right, so now we should be able to put our rails down. Blocks behind them, just as we did on the other side. And what we should be able to do is put our mine carts on and not doing what I thought they would do. All right, guys, so I think we've done it. It's not as pretty as I was hoping. It's a little bit awkward, but I think it's doing what we need it to do. Basically, the cars are bouncing back and forth on the rails on both sides of the portal. If we go over here, I believe we'll see it too. Yeah, you'll see it's basically the same thing is happening on both sides, and that's keeping the portal active, and thus should keep the chunk and the immediate chunks around it loaded. And just like that, we are now in possession of a ton of enchanted books. So many enchanted books. And we're going to start enchanting our tools. Now we're going to run out of XP pretty quickly, and that's fine. We'll do it over the course of time, but it's going to feel really good to put the first protection 4 enchant on some of our armor. So I'm going to get to that, and then we're going to continue on decorating this build. All right, so while we sort of work on upgrading our armor and tools using our new librarians just below us here, I think it's time to begin work on the sort of the ancient ruins that are sort of on top of this build that are, sort of the old library, I guess, before it was, subject to the toils of time. But yeah, so for this one, I think we're just going to do a little time lapse dealy. So I hope you all enjoy. I've been leveling up my armor and tool game. You'll see that we have all the sort of standard enchantments that we would want. We named some of our tools. We got swords for 48,000. We got So Very Fortunate for our fortune pickaxe. Choppy McChopperson for our axe, and then I haven't picked names for the other items yet, but maybe we'll get there. Anyways, I was dropping off some items to throw in the bone meal sort of farm thing over there, and I noticed that we all of a sudden have no villagers, which is weird for a couple reasons. One is I did check, and this is spawn proof. This area is spawn proof. Now maybe a hostile mob got in, like I get in by walking over here, but it really hadn't been a problem up to this point, just because the whole area is spawn-proof so much. A mob would have to travel a decent distance to get here, although you know what? I didn't think about the roof, so that's quite possible. And you'll notice there's an iron golem here now, which makes us think that, in fact, some bad mob did spawn. So luckily, with the villager breeder right down there, we can get some new farmer villagers in here pretty quickly. So let me give you all a quick tour of the ruins that we made. Now, I told you they were going to be small. I might go a little bit higher with them, maybe add a little bit more to their sort of verticalness, just because I'm not sure if they stand out quite enough, but I really like the way they came out. They're supposed to be really dilapidated, and I think I got that across their walls, so you can see that there were probably like walkways and stuff, but yeah, they are very ruined, which is good. And then we come to our doorway here and go down our spiral staircase. I have the copper lamps down here. Again, I do need to get some bee action going, just so that we can wax these at the appropriate level, because I think we want to do like the weathered version or something like that. I still have a chest down here of a bunch of goodies that we'll need to bring up to the top, and I've just sort of slowly been doing that as I work down here. But yeah, we'll slowly get rid of this, and then we'll just get rid of it at some point. Then we walk into our library, at least the start of it, and I hate to show it to you like this because we need to do a lot more work on it, but I do want to just sort of show you where we're at the moment, and this is it. So we have, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 platforms. I think 5 platforms of various librarian villagers. There is a little bit of duplication with, I think, like mending and maybe efficiency. I sort of lost track of what enchantments I had access to, and just, unfortunately created multiple librarians doing the same thing. Not a big deal, and we'll use those spots for something else in the future if we get to that point. And so far in the bottom, we haven't done anything. So we do need to work on this. I think that's what I'm going to work on next, because I want to finish it for this episode without it going too long. So one thing I think these librarians are going to need is sort of somewhere to study, somewhere to do their work. And so I thought about maybe doing like a big table in the middle down here. And then maybe in the future, we can make it like a map table when we get to the point where we're, wanting to do maps. So to start off with, I'm just going to make sort of an outline. We'll make sort of an outline of the table and sort of get an idea of how big we want it. I think that's probably about right. Maybe we don't need to center it. That's fine. But then we will need to do one of those, and then we can follow it all the way around like so. What do we have over here? What do we have over here? So we have 1, 2 of the reds, 1, 2. So this would have to go there. And then we come back down the line like so. Of course, we ran out of blocks halfway through, but we'll work that out. And then I think what we'll do is we'll fill in the middle with slabs, but then we're going to put some trapdoors on top. I think spruce trapdoors will work pretty well here. So put the last bit on, and that looks good. I already have a bunch of trapdoors made. We'll see how they look. I don't know if we're going to put them on the hole. Let's see. So if I turn this way, well, yeah, it'll rotate. All right. So let's keep turning then. And maybe like a map can go in the center here. For right now, we'll put down just to sort of have some, actually, you know what? I have some candles with me. And if we leave this bare, perhaps we can put the candles right on top here. Have a little light source. We're going to make some benches around this, so that'll be cool. And we'll do like there and there. And do I have anything to light this with? Probably not. I can make a flint and steel or something later. That's fine. So then for our benches, I think what we'll do is do dark oak stairs, followed by some trapdoors made out of mangrove. Oops. So one thing you may have noticed with me building is that I'm not particularly comfortable with it. When it comes to things that sort of require someone who has some background in aesthetics, or creating things that are artistic. I just don't have that. And so there's a lot, there are more questions in my head when it comes to sort of that type of work. We're going to put up a bunch of bookshelves here with a couple chiseled bookshelves mixed in just for fun. We're going to strip a bunch of spruce here because I would like to have some more shelves. I'd still like to use them as the separators for the bookshelves. So we're just going to take a bunch of this and see how far it'll get us. The sound the shelves make when they go down is pretty awesome. I really like it. So just looking at this to start out with, I think it'll work pretty well. I think that's working for me. We need a little bit more light. There are a couple areas that are too dark and we just can't see in. And I need to figure out what I want to use for the bottom. But otherwise, I think we're starting to look pretty good over here. And so just like that, we have a bunch of bookcases with some shelves as sort of the dividing, sort of the framework. I think maybe note blocks might be nice along the bottom. I'm going to see if I can work that out. I think that might look really good. Now over in this corner, I think what might be nice is maybe like a couch kind of dealy. Whoops. So maybe it would work better with the bed facing this way for our couch, and then we could do this and that on there. I think that makes more sense, and I just think it looks better with the room. Now, hopefully, let's check our light levels. Yeah, it looks like we're fine. Okay, I guess I should have assumed as much, and plus we'll have the candles going at some point. So let's keep going with this, and we're just going to keep adding more bookshelves to our area here. And I think the room is starting to come together. We got a ways to go, but I think we're starting. I think we're getting closer, I guess is what I'm saying. Now, this is kind of a sad moment. One thing about losing my villagers is it means that I've lost my source of food. So we're going to be eating pumpkin pie for a little bit. Next episode, I'm going to grab 2 more villagers and I'll get them back into that farming situation. But right now, I just can't be bothered to do it. All right, so let's see how our note block idea works. I think this is going to look great. It's an interesting texture, but it's pretty muted, especially in the dark. I think this is going to work out just fine. Oh yeah, that's awesome, actually. That looks really good. That looks really good. I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I think we're starting to do things here, guys. I really do. Yeah, pretty proud of this. Hey, guys. So you might notice that I am in all iron armor, which normally might be great. But in this case, the reason we're doing that is because I decided to install this here chunk loader, which is now broken intentionally. And when I came back to it, there were a bunch of zombified piglins in it. So being the big dummy I am, because I haven't had any trouble with zombified piglins up until now, I killed them and went back in the nether. I spawn-proofed the area around the portal so that they wouldn't be able to spawn anymore and I wouldn't have to deal with them. But then, unfortunately, a ghast blew up the block I was standing on. And unfortunately, that caused us to fall down to where there were many more zombie piglins, and they were angry that I killed their brethren, which is understandable, and they offed me pretty darn quickly, actually, especially considering I was in full diamond armor. And actually enchanted diamond armor too. I think I had protection 4 on everything. So anyways, that's where we're at. So I am going to grab all the iron that we have in our iron farm, and I am going to have to do a bunch of villager trading to get back to roughly what we were at before. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to put it all on camera because what's the point? I wouldn't bore you with that. And yeah, I'm going to catch up on some other YouTube videos that I've been neglecting. Might watch some, Imp and Skizzleman do their Naked and Scared series. Might catch up with Bearded Sloth. I like his Bedrock stuff. What else? I think Exumavoid might have a couple videos out that I haven't been keeping up with. So yeah, that is exactly what we're gonna do, and hopefully we'll get caught up quickly, and I can get back to you all. We'll finish our builds for today, and go from there. And just like that, we are back to our fully geared up state here, which is great to say. It feels good. Look at that armor bar all filled up. Very nice. It took about 2 hours of trading to get this done, give or take. If we take a look here, we'll see we've named all our tools again. So we got sharpness. We got our swords for 48,000. That's a Celebrity Jeopardy reference. We got our Fortune 3 pickaxe, which is so very fortunate. Our regular axe is Choppy McChopperson. Our shovel is Ya Dig. For a hoe, we got Ho 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 Your Boat. And then similarly, for our bow, we got Bow 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 Your Boat. And then for our armor, I got a little, I don't know what the word is, cheeky? Is that what the British folks would say? We do a like and subscribe. Yeah. That's not going to work at all, but whatever. It seemed funny at the time. It seemed funny after, grinding emerald trades for 2 hours. So I think we're going to probably call this an episode. I am going to go over to the iron farm real quick and set up our chunk loader again, since I had to break it when I died to the, well, I didn't have to, but it did break when I died to the zombie piglins. So we have successfully fixed our chunk loader here. You can see the carts moving back and forth through the nether. I did swap out, originally I had redstone torches here, but I've swapped them out for levers. We do need to get some crafters going here, and I will try to do that maybe next episode, because we do need to turn these ingots into blocks just to make it easier for us, and ideally all these poppies into bone meal as well. I think the last thing that I really want to do in this episode is get our farmer villagers back, just so that we have some villager production, still working for us. Oops. Let's go down into our little pen here. I have 2 mine carts that we're going to deploy. 1 and 2. Put our cobblestone back. This is part of the wall is not the prettiest. Someday we're gonna have to get after that, I think. But we can just take these guys out of the mine carts, and they should become, yeah, they'll become farmers pretty much immediately. And now we do have this iron golem here, hopefully to protect them. We'll fix him up, make him happy, hopefully. And then you'll notice I have 2 name tags in my inventory because we have so many librarian villagers. We have access to plenty of name tags now. So I thought maybe we could name these 2 if you guys are game. If you're willing to help me out, just you know, of course, as always, like and subscribe if you're so inclined. But in the comments, drop me 2 names for these guys. I don't have any ideas right now. I'm hoping that if we give them names, perhaps that will make them have a greater appreciation for life. You know, have a little bit more individuality. So we'll see if that works or not. So once again, we have happy villagers here. We are all geared up as we were before, and we finished our build. So I'm feeling pretty good about this this episode. It definitely took a long time to get some of these things done. That's, I think, what one of the things that really separates a sort of Minecraft newbie or you know, someone who's mediocre like myself and people who are very good at Minecraft. Ooh, and now we have a thunderstorm. One moment, please. All right, so finishing up for the day, let's take a look at what we got done. The most noticeable thing, I think what we'll do is we'll go to our ruins and library sign. We're going to add 3 asterisks to this, like the pathway, or the pathwork, I should say. We are very close to being done with the ruins and the library, but I do think there are a couple other details that inside the library that I'd like to add. We also need to add some string to the ruins so that the vines don't get all crazy and, you know, impossible to deal with. That is pretty much all we got done today. However, I will say, if we finish the ruins and library in the next video, and we also finish our bridge and connect the path to that other side of the waterway, we may be able to take down both of these to-do items, and that would be pretty awesome. So let's hope we're gonna, you know, let's hope that's sort of the way we end up going. Obviously, the other thing I want to do next time is focus on the farmers' stalls, the little area where the farmers can sell us their golden carrots, because we are out of food right now. Actually, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I would like to get our golden carrot trade back as soon as possible. So that's going to be a priority next week as well. But yeah, what I was saying was I think that's one of the things that really separates people who are, you know, sort of good at Minecraft or great at Minecraft is they use their time really wisely. Can I hit this guy? Oh, maybe not. Oh, I got him. Boom! Sniper duel. Even though he wasn't sniping a whole lot, but you know, we'll take it. So anyways, let's talk about what we did this episode. We built these cool little ruins here. I think they look pretty good. We probably need to come around with some string action. I don't know if we need quite this much if we need quite these this many vines growing around, but I think the ruins look pretty cool. I think they make sense being across from our builds over here. We do need to work on a bridge. I had mentioned that last episode and I just didn't get there this time, so that's probably one of the first things we'll do next episode, just to connect these 2 areas. I want to go back here actually one moment. I'm thinking, obviously, we need to work a little bit on the back of this building now that we're going to be over here. I thought also maybe a little fountain area over here might make sense. Either a fountain or a garden. I'm not really sure both. I guess we could do either. It's a pretty small area, but I think again, that'll make sense and it'll kind of tie the 2 areas together. Then we have our spiral staircase, sort of modeled after the staircase that takes us down to the what do you call it? The end portals. and it opens up into our sort of like library area. This is also still a little bit too sparse. I think we need to do more down here, but I'm just not quite sure what yet, and I don't want to sort of start messing around with it because I am pretty happy with it. There are a couple awkward spots like this right here. You know, it's a little landing. There's no railings or anything, so maybe we'll, you know, kind of work on that as time goes on. Maybe we'll switch up the lighting situation so that the chandelier isn't necessary right where it is. And it's like another little awkward area right here. I have some ideas for this open space, but again, I want to make sure that I'm sort of happy with it before I start messing around with the build. But yeah, we have all of our librarians here, which is great. Down here, there's still a little bit of clutter, but generally, I think it looks pretty good. We have our table. We have a bunch of chairs. We've got some couches in the corner with some lamp, and then with a lamp with some lamp. I love lamp. But anyways, so we have, you know, our little cozy area over there with a lamp and a table. We have our books. I think we should probably mix in some chests into the walls here because they're a nice texture to go along with the books and the chiseled bookshelves. So we might do that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now. So as always, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this episode of Mediocre Minecraft. I'm really proud of this episode. I think I got a lot done. It's maybe not as polished as it could be, but I'm pretty pleased with it, and I'm pretty pleased where we're at in this world. I think next episode, we really do need to make some inroads into the nether. At the very least, we need to start gathering some nether quartz, and we're going to need the zombie piglins to not be aggro against us if we're going to do that. So we're going to work on that, and then probably building that bridge as well, and we'll see what else we can fit in. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all are well. You all take care. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Be well.